everywhere, from the president every 4 years down to who's in your local elections.
If you don't say nothing, you will never be heard. You got to speak up.
I'm proud. I am showing others that I did my civic duty. I would wear my I voted sticker all day.
Hello, I'm Minnesota's Secretary of State Mark Ritchie. Thank you for taking time to watch this brief video, which will help you understand the voting experience. While our state has very high voter turnout, the highest in the nation, it's important that everyone, especially a first-time voter, knows where and how to vote in Minnesota. This year, our Get Out the Vote theme, Minnesota Votes, underscores that elections are an active statewide exercise in democracy. Voting is a right protected for you by generations of sacrifice by Americans. Use that right. Take your place in our democracy and help set the direction for Minnesota and for our nation.
We want to be sure you're ready to vote, and we think that after watching this presentation, you'll see how easy voting is. But before we start, if you have any questions, here are some ways to get answers. Our web address is mnvotes.org, and our telephone number is 1-877-600-VOTE.
Voting is the way that you tell your government what you want.
First things first, you have to register before you can vote for the first time. Registering is simple, free, and quick. And you have to update your registration if you move, change your name, or have not voted for more than 4 years. Registering just means adding your name and address to the voter list. To be eligible to register, a person must be at least 18 years old on Election Day, be a citizen of the United States, have resided in Minnesota for 20 days immediately preceding Election Day, maintain residence at the address given on the registration form, not be under court-ordered guardianship in which the order revokes their right to vote, have not been found by a court to be legally incompetent to vote. If they've been convicted of a felony, the felony sentence must be completed or they've been discharged from the sentence. You can get a voter registration application online, or you can pick up an application at your county auditor's office and many other places such as libraries, government offices, and community events. Simply fill it out and mail or deliver it to your county auditor's office, city or township clerk's office, or the Minnesota Secretary of State's office. You can also register to vote at the polling place or at the same time you complete an absentee ballot, which we'll come back to in a few minutes.
When you vote, I think you really you realize your place in like a larger community, and you have a sense that you're taking part in something that's bigger than yourself.
One important thing you'll need to know is where to vote. Where you vote depends upon where you live. You have to vote at the polling place assigned to your address. If you register to vote at least 3 weeks before Election Day, you'll receive a postcard in the mail telling you where your polling place is. Another easy way to find your polling place is through the Secretary of State's online polling place finder at mnvotes.org. All you have to know is your street address.
I had just turned 18, and I actually had a woman showed me exactly where I needed to go, when I needed to go. It was a really positive experience.
When you arrive at the polling place to vote, you'll be directed to one of the people who helps run the polling place and assists voters called an election judge. You'll want to see the election judge with the list of voters, also known as the roster, to sign in. An election judge will show you how the ballot is organized and will explain the voting process. It's totally up to you if you want help. The judges are available to help you if needed. When you're ready to mark your ballots, an election judge will hand you the appropriate ballot and direct you to the voting booth so you can mark your ballot in private. If you make a mistake in marking your ballot, that's not a problem. Just ask an election judge for a new ballot. Only your new ballot will be counted. Once you've filled out your ballot, you'll deposit it in the ballot counter or ballot box. Then, an election judge will offer you an I voted sticker. Wear it with pride. It's that simple. If you're unsure about the voting process, ask an election judge at the polls to help. Or bring a friend or family member to show you. Take part in the election process. Your vote is important. We've just seen the voting process for those who are already registered to vote at their current address. If you haven't registered by Election Day or need to update your registration, you can do that right at your polling place. When you arrive at the polling place, just tell an election judge that you need to register, and the judge will walk you through the process. You'll need to fill out a voter registration application and show one of these forms of proof of residence: a valid Minnesota driver's license, Minnesota ID card, learner's permit, or a yellow receipt for any of these that has your current address. Or you can show a photo ID that does not have your current address along with a document that does have your current address. In this case, you can use any of the following photo IDs even if they're expired: Minnesota driver's license, Minnesota ID card, U.S. passport, U.S. military ID card, Minnesota college or university student ID card, or a tribal ID card with your signature. The following documents with your current address can be used along with a photo ID: a current student fee statement or utility bill with a due date 30 days before or after the election, or a rent statement from your landlord showing utility expenses. Utility bills could have been received in the mail or electronically and can be for gas, electric, solid waste, water, sewer, phone, cell phone, television, or internet provider services. Other options for providing proof of residence are a current valid student ID if your name appears on a housing list provided to election officials by your college or university, a tribal ID card with your name, address, signature, and picture, a notice of late registration if you received one from your county auditor or city clerk. If you were previously registered to vote and have moved within your precinct or changed your name, a current voter registration within the precinct. Or you can ask another voter who is registered in the precinct to vouch for your residence in the precinct. Another voter can vouch for you even if they also registered on Election Day, also known as same-day registration, as long as they were not vouched for. Finally, if you live in a residential facility such as a nursing home, group home, battered women's shelter, or homeless shelter, an employee of the facility may vouch for you. Once you've registered to vote, you'll be given a ballot receipt and complete the rest of the voting process just like any other voter. Up until now, we've shown you what you should encounter in a polling place. However, there are also some things that you shouldn't see there. An important one is campaigning, which is not allowed in or around the polling place, or any of a polling place's property at all if the polling place is on public property. This includes wearing or displaying any campaign messages, literature, or paraphernalia. Polling places are friendly places, but they're also orderly places. If you see anything that looks out of order in the polling place, ask to speak with the head election judge right away.
I think people with disabilities are just like everyone else. They want to be treated with respect and with dignity.
If you do have a permanent or temporary disability, we want you to know that you'll be able to vote like everyone else. By law, polling places are required to be physically accessible. In addition, election judges know that many people with disabilities need no help at all, but they're there to help if you ask. For example, if you are unable to enter the polling place, you may vote from your vehicle with the assistance of 2 election judges from 2 different major political parties. During this process, they'll bring voting materials out to you, wait while you vote, then bring the materials back into the polling place and deposit them correctly. Judges will also be able to help voters with visual impairments. For example, an election judge might help a voter by providing a signature guide or a magnifying glass. Judges might also talk a voter with a visual impairment through the voting process and might read the ballot to the voter. Each polling place will have a voting station containing a ballot marking machine designed for voters with disabilities. This machine can display the ballot in large print on a computer screen and can provide spoken voting instructions over headphones for use with a keypad to make your selection. Let's say you won't be able to get to your polling place on Election Day. That's no problem. You can vote by absentee ballot before Election Day even if you're not already registered to vote There are 4 acceptable reasons for casting an absentee ballot. You'll be out of your precinct on Election Day, for example, out of town for work or away at college. You're ill or disabled. It's a religious holiday or religious observance preventing you from going to the polling place. Or you're serving as an election judge in a different precinct. If any of these apply to you, plan ahead and vote by absentee ballot. There are 2 ways to vote an absentee ballot. The first way is by mail. Get an absentee ballot application from our website, mnvotes.org, or by calling your county auditor or city clerk. Fill it out and submit it by mail, fax, or as an attachment to an email. An absentee ballot will be sent to you. Be sure to return it with time to spare. It has to arrive at your local election official's office on or before Election Day in order to be counted. If you already know you're not going to be able to go to your polling place on Election Day, you can apply for your ballot right now if you'd like, and it will be mailed to you as soon as it's ready. Another option is to go to your county auditor's office or, depending on where you live, your city or township clerk's office and fill out an absentee ballot there. Absentee ballots can be filled out any time during the 46 days before Election Day. Your county auditor's office will even be open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the Saturday before the election and until 5 p.m. on the day before Election Day for absentee balloting. By the way, you can also register to vote, if you haven't already done that, at the time you submit your absentee ballot. If you have any questions, here are a few ways to get answers. Our web address is mnvotes.org, and our telephone number is 1-877-600-VOTE. Hearing impaired, Minnesota Relay Service 711 or 1-800-627-3529. Well, as you can see, voting is easy and straightforward. Casting your ballot makes a difference, and it'll make you feel great. Thanks for watching and taking the time to vote.
Everyone has their reasons why they should vote, but I think for me it's so that you can stake a claim in your local government and in the federal government.